Studio Me Productions is a full-service video production company based in Pittsburgh. It offers custom video production services, podcast studio rentals, and communication studio build-outs. Choosing Studio Me Productions means investing in a partnership that values creativity and delivers results that exceed expectations. With a deep understanding of marketing and storytelling, Studio Me ensures your project will captivate and engage your viewers. Learn more at studiomeproductions.com. That's studiomeproductions.com. A strong work culture is the invisible force that binds employees to each other, to the company, and to their work. It's linked to better business outcomes, happier employees, and increased retention. How we work and where we work continue to evolve in almost every way, yet our human need for connection and purpose remains. Help your employees connect and thrive by evolving your culture to support your team, regardless of how or where they work. So discover how the Kindling Culture Agency can transform your company's culture at sparksomething.big.com. That's the Kindling Culture Agency at sparksomething.big.com.
CompUnetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, CompUnetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at compunetics.com.
This is TechVibe Radio, your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by CompUnetics at compunetics.com, Huntington Bank at huntington.com, Kindling Culture Agency at thekindlingcultureagency.com, My Benefit Advisor at mybenefitadvisor.com, PNC Bank at pnc.com, Savior at savior.com, and Studio Me at studiomeproductions.com. Coming to you from the Huntington Bank Studios, here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council. TechVibe, here we are telling the stories of what's happening here in Pittsburgh. And Audrey, so much fun. We get to talk about companies that are working on some technologies. They save people's lives. They keep people healthy. And when you can have AI do that, it's a pretty heavy duty lift. And today we are going to be hanging out, of course, with SoftWriters. I have LiAna Tschen here today. And of course, we have Danielle Greer hanging out with us. Audrey, how much fun is this?
It's way fun. I think we should jump right in.
In the Huntington Bank Studios. Just to set the stage us a little bit, for 20 years, SoftWriters has been around. And the idea that they're doing all this work around pharmacy within long-term care facility. Talk about a cool niche, a growing, you only could call it a niche because there's a lot of people that need these services and literally life-saving. And being able to put a little AI into this to help the pharmacist out and to make sure patients get the right meds at the right times, all that kind of good stuff. We think it's cool. We love it.
Let's see who we have in the room. Introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is LiAna Tschen. I am VP of Platform Operations at SoftWriters, which means that I am managing the bulk of our product management team. And I'm also a pharmacist by trade, and I was a customer of SoftWriters for quite some time.
I love that. You like it so much, you joined the team.
Exactly. That's right.
That's a pretty linear path. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Danielle Greer. I'm VP of Product, and I get to lead what's called our Alpha Lab at SoftWriters, which is the actual AI and innovation center, doing all the research, development, proof of concepting, experimentation. So we get to work on some pretty cool stuff and deliver it to an important population.
And how long have you been doing that for?
Oh, I've been with them for 4 years now.
Okay.
So it's been quite the journey because, like LiAna, I was also a customer.
No way. Oh, my goodness.
I've spent almost 20 years as a customer and worked in the long-term care pharmacy, but I've always been on the technology side. So I started in this industry with robotics the remote automated dispensing medication machines and
Absolutely.
integration. So I got to come up in the days before internet and everything. But we were literally still walking and driving floppy disks out to load orders into the machine and stuff. So it's been quite the transition.
So this is great. It would be great to get up to speed to see what you're all up to and what's changed.
Yeah, we're excited.
So let's just sort of talk about this. When you talk about what you do, sort of peel it back and describe the product.
Yeah. So, what we have is a pharmacy operating system, right? So anything the pharmacy needs to do to kind of do the work of a pharmacy, intake orders, process prescriptions, indicate claims, print prescription labels, get those out to the customers. In long-term care, there are also needs for like automation, like kind of what Danielle had worked in before. So the software needs to be able to interface with automation, both in the pharmacies as well as in their customers' buildings, and then also interface with any of the EMR applications that our customers are using, right? So we're intaking and sending electronic information back and forth between all of those different integrated partners.
I know.
It's a very complicated. I think it's one of the most complicated parts.
It is.
Of the pharmacy industry. Long-term care pharmacy is very, very complicated.
And if one thing goes wrong, I mean,
That's right.
the results aren't going to be always that great. So, I mean, that is just, you got to be precise.
And the patient is
every
at the
step.
end of it. All the time. It has to be the center of everything that we do, everything our customers are doing.
It is. We have an entire suite of products. So we've got the core system, the pharmacy management system framework, LTC. It's an entire ecosystem to take care of. I say it takes an army, right, to service this industry.
Right.
It does, because we do everything from the consultant pharmacist software to we've got Framework Vision, which is an externally facing software that the nursing home and nurses can engage with. We've got Flow, which is a device that they can wander through their pharmacy and work a little bit remotely.
Document management.
What is that?
Enterprise content
Talk
management.
about that.
Oh,
Framework
Flow.
Flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get you can work it off your cell phone or a device that you can purchase. And there's parts of the pharmacy workflow that require you to be walking around. So being tethered to a desktop doesn't always work for those. For example, toting, getting the medications into the totes to be delivered to the facilities. So we were able to take a version of our software and scrunch it down and get it into a mobile device to put those critical workflows in there.
Yeah, one of the things that the pharmacy system does that doesn't happen maybe in the old days of pharmacy or even in some retail systems is sort of barcode scanning, right? Both for safety and also the ability to kind of manage your workflow. So that device can kind of help barcode scan without being tethered to a desk.
Pharmacists must be loving you. Because they're able to get their job done.
We hope so. That's the goal.
That's right.
But like, how big of an opportunity is this? I know we have an aging population.
So, like, in terms of
is it, I know healthcare is like 25% of the gross domestic product. I know that nursing homes are struggling with staying open and, providing services. So the demand has to be very intense. So
It's very intense. Our customers alone, they process millions of prescriptions a month. Millions. And some of our larger customers are doing, thousands and thousands a day to keep up with, the demand.
Right. Like your busy retail pharmacy is going to be maybe 500 scripts a day.
Okay.
Like your busiest retail, like if you were to go to a CVS or a Walgreens, maybe you can find one that gets up to like 900 on some days of the week or some days of the month. But for the most part, 500 or 600 is pretty busy.
In contrast.
Yeah. Our largest ones are doing, upwards of 5,000 a day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. And what I love the fact is that your technology is keeping that straight. You're keeping it flowing and going. That to me is just an amazing thing. And we don't think about that. Like we take it for granted that you pick up a prescription. It's there. It's the right thing. The right label's correct. Like all the things you need to take that medication safely and have it on time, right?
Imagine the nurses and the LPNs that are in these long-term care facilities that have all these other responsibilities.
Yeah, pharmacy is just one
part of exactly. Man, that is amazing.
Technology's become a requirement to do business at scale for the pharmacies because they have to process so many prescriptions, so many orders safely in such a short amount of time. And anytime, that's why we've seen such a shift too with more of our pharmacies picking up robotics and dispensing machines internally because they've got to process at scale and volume. That's why AI is so important.
I was going to say, I mean, this seems like if there's a use case for AI, but a really tough use case for AI, this is definitely it. And so, I mean, you leading up the Alpha Lab for this thing, I mean, that's some responsibility right there. Where you're like, we're going to tackle this problem
We
fill it. And it was, yeah.
And so can you talk about that Alpha Lab, at least at the high level?
Sure.
Like
Yes.
what that means?
Yeah, we meet with our customers regularly, and we take it very seriously. We listen directly to our customers.
100%.
And since I've been with the organization, we have spent a lot of time every year going out, meeting with our customers where they are. We walk their pharmacies. We get very into the workflow and see what the problems are, and we bring that back. And about, a year and a half ago, we formed what was called an AI mastermind, which was about 20, 30 of our customers that participated in a few sessions where, we really just wanted to hear them and listen to what the problems were and how we could solve them. And the common theme that came out is, we're dealing with staffing shortages. We're dealing with margin compressions. We're dealing with uncertainties. We've got a growing population and more demand. And we're like, okay, so, we've got a problem to solve. And then lo and behold, what happened a couple of years ago, the AI started to take off more, and it became more accessible and it became more mainstream. And that opened up a bigger door for us to be able to look at these manual workflows and look for opportunities to automate some of those. And we also decided that we needed to still keep our core product, which we decided to bring LiAna on board to help keep the core running, which is doing all of the upgrades and stuff just to keep the train moving, basically. And we also decided to carve out a small group of us that could focus on 100% innovating in the AI. Because what happens is if you over-index on one and not the other, you tip the scale. And we wanted to keep the balance.
There's a balancing act you have to maintain there. But how cool you could actually then work with your customers on that.
Yeah.
And then I guess obviously they probably helped you beta this as you were rolling things out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We have great customers. I'm going to tell you. No, they're always so willing to give us information, partner with us. And when they found out that we were doing this exciting project, and the order entry portion, when we had that AI mastermind, was the thing that stuck out. So we did a little scan the barcode survey to find out, what's your most critical pain point right now? And unanimously, every single person said order entry.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the most labor-intensive piece of the pharmacy. Yeah.
It's also the first step.
It is.
It's pretty much. It's pretty much the first step, and it's also the hardest to train. It takes the longest to train those techs. And when you're in a tech shortage, it's just everything grinds to a halt and everything gets lit.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And that's what they really were like, hey, if you can solve this problem, it's a great start.
And it has to be very foundational. If something wrong goes there, that's only going to amplify down the chain, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It takes a lot, like transcribing errors. You don't think about that, but the error rates in pharmacies are very high. Some people say it's 25.
Read the doctor's handwriting. Can you, Lon?
They can. Nobody can.
Technology health of the handwriting.
It has, yeah. I know a lot of the mandates and stuff that'll come out have to be electronically prescribing, but you still have some bit of transcribing that goes on in the software to get it into, because you have nurses that are putting the orders into an electronic MAR system at the nursing home, so they're transcribing something and then it gets to the pharmacy. So by the time it gets out the door, it's probably been looked at and retyped a couple of times.
Exactly.
So having that through AI and being able to automate that workflow step really does that as well. It not only takes some of that manual effort off, freeing up time, but it also increases the safety, and the overall error rate goes down because you have
it has to be so high.
Yeah.
Manual.
Oh, it is. Around, I think, 25 to 35% of errors happen during the order entry part.
Wow. And what I love is your AI and your software is avoiding this and making lives easier for these folks to do this and do it accurately.
Yeah.
What was the time frame from you're saying this is the problem to solve, you're working with the customers, and now you've rolled this thing out?
It felt long.
It's a massive
in it. The point is we never really focused on the time. We focused on the patient and the safety factor, right?
Yeah.
Because there were so many options out there, right? We could have taken the route. A lot of people say, hey, we're automating things, but really it's what we call RPA, which is just plain old robotic process automation, which is like screen scraping and bots that click on things. And we really wanted to legitimately come out with intelligent automation. We wanted to continue with some traditional automation, but we wanted to use the AI, the machine learning, and the LLMs to leverage intelligent automation as well. So we knew that we were building with intent, and it was not going to be a 6-month project. It wasn't going to be a 2-month project.
Yeah.
So we worked on this for about 12 to 18 months.
Amazing.
And we'd been in the alpha phase, we called it.
Okay.
We were able to get to alpha through partnering with a wonderful customer. And then we expanded it to a couple of more customers to really get that safety and comfort level of the buy-in of the pharmacy to know that we could run the data through, we could run it through at scale, we could see the 99% accuracy, we could identify the more complex orders. So start to finish, where we finally went live and felt comfortable enough, was about 14 months.
That's amazing. I feel like you could have you should have captured all the steps. You could have a little master class on how you develop and deploy and AI project like that.
It is, and this is an area like I said, you can't go wrong in this area. We were very focused on ensuring that we had the trust of our customers, that we were building this right, and we had the right goal in mind.
I'd be freaking out oh my God,
right. And as a partner,
we still freak out.
It's really important, right? That we're not moving anything forward in the process if we're not sure that it's the right thing. So, we don't automate everything, because there's a lot.
Of course,
Ironically, even though I think, it took us a while in long-term care to get the bulk of the orders electronically rather than on paper. There's still quite a bit of paper.
Okay.
But even those electronic orders, still there's quite a bit that's not really structured information, so that there is quite a bit of interpretation that we have to train the models to. And so we really want to make sure we get that solid right and that we're passing through. It's not making it through that step if we're not sure it's right.
And the medications are changing all the time. Also, in other long-term care, you talked about prisons.
Some long-term care pharmacies service prisons or jails or those types of settings. Yeah,
where you have constant turnover too.
That's its own challenge.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's not like you're living there in your last chapter.
Yeah, especially in a jail setting, right? They come in and they leave quickly.
Right. Wow.
I'm just mesmerized at the whole scope here that goes through to make sure people get their medication. I just feel like, we wait in line at the pharmacy, you pick up your stuff, you're not thinking about that, much less when you're in a long-term facility where they're managing all these different patients' prescriptions, where there could be 12 of on average. And what I think really is interesting, Audrey, is the fact that you're not saying we're going to automate the whole thing. You actually just automating the parts that it can be done best.
Have the most impact for the customer.
The most impact for the customer. And then and there's always apparently like a human in the loop here as well, too, of course. And I'm thinking because the pharmacist now can really concentrate on some of the more important things, not the tedious kind of back and forth stuff.
Well, what's it like for pharmacy grads these days? I'm getting a lot of people.
Interesting.
I would say we don't have as much as there used to be a shortage of pharmacists, not quite as much anymore, although I think we might be running back into that if people aren't going to pharmacy school as much as they were. That kind of ebbs and flows and might vary regionally in terms of what that market is like as a new grad. I think pharmacy technician, which is, the normal workflow is, a technician might enter the orders, or they may fill the package, and then a pharmacist checks their work. And so that pharmacy tech role, I think, is where the biggest crunch is, right? I think after post-COVID, there was I think we lost a lot of workers, and then wages went up, right? The demand for wages. And then at that same time, now we're in an era where I think pharmacies have always been worried about reimbursement rates. There are more economic pressures on the pharmacies right now, and particularly long-term care pharmacies. When you think about anything that's going on with Medicare, the CMS, all of those are going to put a lot of economic pressure on the long-term care facilities, and then those are their customers, right? So they're being pressured to give better contracted rates.
Yeah, and when we spoke to the customers back when we did the AI mastermind, I think these were some of the exact words, and talking about the staffing shortage, the pay scale, not being able to keep up with the industry. Can't increase the rates that way because their reimbursement rates aren't matching.
So they have to
be able to go up.
They're tapped out. That's
right.
That's the best they can do.
So basically, that's why they're looking to us, right? They're solve the problem, automate as much as you can. Right. You mentioned we picked the one thing that we just got started.
Well, you're reading my mind here, because I know I had a feeling, Audrey, like they're just getting cooking on this thing right now.
We just got started.
So what's next? What's in the alpha lab right now?
And part of that exercise that we've taken over the last year or two is really just looking at that entire value chain, the start to finish of an order, and how every step that it takes to get through a pharmacy and eventually make it to the patient. And there is a lot of opportunity there.
There's so much space.
There is. Yeah. There's a lot, because there's how the order comes from, the originator, right? The doctor, whatever it is, the nurse types it in, it makes it to the pharmacy, it gets put in. So that's that order entry piece that we decided was the most, critical. That's what our customers told us to start with. But there's a whole nother part of that. There's how the pharmacists verify. There's that PD1 that has a lot of opportunities for us to create what we call like a co-pilot or an AI assist in that area to help them.
But how much fun?
In Pittsburgh, started in Pittsburgh, pharmacy.
Ain't leaving Pittsburgh.
We're not leaving for air free, right?
Yeah.
Innovating each and every day, products down the line.
Yeah.
And you're hiring.
Yes, we
some
are.
engineers.
Yes,
Great
we are.
story all the way
It's a great
around.
story.
And how much fun we get to tell a little bit of that story. Our
How
front
much
row
fun to
seat here
listen
on
to them.
TechVibe. Yeah, that's
listen to
why I
them.
encourage
Yeah,
everybody.
We're excited to get
keep-
the message out. too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep coming back for more of this. And
Yeah.
SoftWriters.com.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
All day
That's
long.
great.
Come
Simple
see
as
it.
that.
Thank you.
Thanks for
thank
hanging
you.
out with us
Thank
today.
you.
What a fun way to spend part of my day. That's for sure. I learned so much. And once again, you guys are making Pittsburgh proud. Simple as that. So they're too much fun. I cannot wait to see you guys on the next one.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
sounds
you.
like fun.
All right,
Wow.
everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for geeking out with us on TechVibe Radio. Tune in next Sunday for more tech and innovation stories right here from Pittsburgh. Get TechVibe wherever you get your podcasts and never miss a show. TechVibe is brought to you by the generous support of Compunetics at compunetics.com, Chorus Call at choruscall.com, Highmark at highmark.com, Huntington Bank at huntington.com, the Kindling Culture Agency at thekindlingagency.com, PNC Bank at pnc.com, Savior at savior.com, and Studio Me at studiomeproductions.com. TechVibe proudly broadcasts from the Huntington Bank Studios.